solving. How many questions are there in reading A? 20? 20?
20. Yes.
There are 20 questions that we need to solve, and they are based on medical materials, as you could assume. I remind you that OET, Occupational English Test, is designed to medical and they are muted, please. Thank you, Irina. So, and they can be doctors, nurses, pharmacists or dentists, but dietitians as well, occupational therapists, midwives, I already said pharmacists. But this medical exam, this medical English exam is accepted by different medical colleges in different countries. So mostly, we have mostly students preparing for NMC and GMC in the UK, but the Pharmacists Council and the Dentist Council in Ireland also accept it, not to mention the other countries such as Australia, New Zealand, and so on. Okay, in the reading part, as I said, we have 3 other subtests. In the listening part, or the listening part is the same. The writing part, it's about writing a medical letter, which can be referral, discharge, transfer, and so on. And the speaking part, as you remember from the last week, that we had another live here. The speaking part is made out of 2 role play dialogues, which are, let's say, acted with an interlocutor who plays the patient or the family of the patient. You are, of course, the medical professional, either the doctor, the nurse, the pharmacist, the dentist, and so on. Okay, I would allow Mihaela to start the reading task, A. And if you have further questions, you can ask at the end of this exercise. Yes, good luck, everybody. Please, Miha.
Okay, so I'll share my screen with a document.
Okay, we will talk about Parkinson's, right? Or do I remember well?
Parkinson disease, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so there are 4 texts in part A in writing. There are 4 texts based on the same subject, but different aspects of the same subject. The common subject of the 4 texts today is Parkinson disease, but all the 4 texts deal with a different aspect or a different information on Parkinson disease. The first thing that you will do when you start part A in the exam, you have to quickly look at the 4 texts. You don't have a lot of time to read the text, so you will not read the text, but you have to have a little bit of information of each text before you do the exercises. There are 3 types of exercises. The first one is always where you have to match information from the question with the text, and you'll have to write down the letter of the text where you found the information. The other 2 exercises are either to reply to questions or to complete some statements based on the text. The first exercise, because you have to match information in the exercise in the statements with the 4 texts, will provide you information on the text, so it will be easier for you to do the other 2 exercises. That is the reason why this is always the first exercise, because it will help you gain knowledge on the 4 texts. Before you actually start doing the first exercise, I advise you to look quickly at the headings and the subheadings of the 4 texts. So it will be easier for you when you do the first exercise. It will be easier than to quickly match the 7 questions. In the first exercise, you have 7 questions. So we'll look quickly at the 4 texts. Text A is an abstract, meaning this is a short description of the disease. Text B is about motor symptoms. Text C is about non-motor symptoms. And if you look, you also have a table. Tables are quite good, let's say, to have, because it's very easy to read and it's very easy to find information. And text D is a bar chart. Bar charts, graphs, diagrams as well are quite good to have as a text, let's say, because again, the information is quite visible and it's quite easy to read them. It's easier to find information in a table or in a graph than it is to find in a big text. Part A lasts for 15 minutes and you have 20 questions. That means that you have less than a minute per question, actually about 75 seconds. So you'll have to be pretty fast and work pretty well with the language and the questions and the text. The main strategy that you will use will be scanning. You have to read the question carefully, understand what the question asks, and be able to understand also the type of answer that you have to give. You have to find the specific information, the specific word that you will have to give the answer to from the question, and use that one to scan the four text, or one text if you can actually go to the exact text where you'll find the information. Scan the text, find the location of the word or the information that you're looking for, read before and after that word or that expression, and you should be able to find the answer and provide the right answer to the question. So we'll start looking at the first exercise. Can you, I hope that everybody can see the first 7 questions.
Yes, it is, they are visible. So in which text can you find information about? So Mihaela, the first step is to read the questions or the text?
The first step is always to read the question. You don't have time to read the text. Therefore, you will, your dynamic would be question, text, always. So you will first read the question. I will read the first question and I will point which is the specific information in the question that you will use as scanning, for scanning. So the symptoms that occur in every phase of the disease and differ between individuals. We have the word symptoms, which is very important because you have to know that you are going to look at a text that talks about symptoms. And we have 2 texts, actually. Earlier, when we looked at the the headings of each text, we found that there are 2 texts that talk about symptoms, texts B and C. One of them was motor symptoms, the other one was non-motor symptoms. But you have to find the symptoms that you will see in every phase of the disease, but they are different with individuals. They would not be exactly the same or very similar between individuals. So you have to look for symptoms, and now you have to also look for phase of the disease or every phase of the disease. That should be enough. That should be enough for you to get the answer or to get the location of the text. So I'm going to show you the text where you will find it, and I will ask you to scan. Okay, have you found it? The paragraph isn't really very very long or very big. So we have non-motor symptoms. We have the word symptoms here. Okay, we do know that the entire text is about symptoms, so we can sort of rely on another piece of information from the question other than symptoms. But we have every body system. We have any time in the course of the disease, which would be a paraphrase of the question. The question was every phase of the disease. And we also have that it differs in severity from person to person, which is a paraphrase from the question, which was different between individuals. So this is text C. The reply, the answer to your question will be C. So you have to write down on your answer sheet the letter C. Let's go to the second question. The symptom of rigidity that can be detected.
Mihaela, sorry, I want to ask, did you identify C as being the correct option by yourselves? Has anybody identified it?
But I showed them the text.
Yes, sure. Mm.
Okay, so we go forward, please.
Okay, we go forward. So we have the symptom of rigidity that can be detected through examination. First of all, we have the word symptom as well, but you will not rely now on symptom as a specific information, as very important information, because you've already done it once and because you know now which texts talk about symptoms. So there are other information in the question that you have to pay very close attention to, which is rigidity and detected through examination. So you have, let's find rigidity. Let me know when you found it.
Stiffness.
Yes.
Okay.
That's stiffness.
Good. So rigidity is another word for stiffness. You see it in between brackets. Okay. And if you read a little bit further, you see that it's detected by a doctor on examination. Okay. So that's the location of your of the information of the statement. Would it be text B? You have to write on your answer sheet B. Question 3. Adjusted death rate.
D.
D, right. If you see here on the left side on the top, you have a green little square where it says adjusted death rate. So the bar chart is about the death rate of Parkinson's disease. Okay, and you would also find the information of adjusted death rate adjusted with the genetically engineered corn and soy. Next question, number 4, the symptoms of losing one's focus. Again, the word symptoms, again, you know that there are 2 texts about it. And if we lose the focus, it means that we lack concentration or we lack focus or attention. So let's see where we'll find that.
Concentration difficulty.
Concentration difficulties. Yes. Okay, so the symptom is called memory and thinking or cognitive problems.
Yes, cognitive problems.
Okay, good. So that would be text C. You have to write on your answer sheet the letter C. Question 5, the etiology of Parkinson's disease. I would ask you to guess now the text where we would find information like this. So we know that the texts have different type of information. Did anybody say anything?
A.
A.
Okay. Why would it be
A.
A and not
Text
the
A.
other ones?
This should be in the abstract.
It should be in the abstract because I would talk about etiology of or any other general information on Parkinson's disease in an abstract, in an overview, in a short description of this disease. So I'll show you text A.
Yeah.
The etiology, yeah.
Found it?
Yes.
Okay, so the etiology of PD is mostly uncommon. PD stands for Parkinson's disease. Good, that was fairly easy, wasn't it? Question 6, the death rate in 1999. Now you should be able to reply without even
Diagram.
the bar chart, right? We know for sure that it is the only text where they talk about death rate or when we have death rates per years. Okay, question 7, how medical resistant PD is treated? We have A. Does anybody auction another letter? Do you think that you saw any type of information about treatment in text B or C, where they talk mostly about symptoms?
In B, I saw something, if I don't wrong.
Okay, let's check. There isn't really anything about treatment here. So it will be in text A. Can you please find it? Please remember that the question was about PD that resists to medicine.
In addition, medication resistant.
Brain stimulations. It's treated with brain stimulations.
Yes, so medication-resistant PD is routinely treated with deep brain stimulation. So your answer on your answer sheet would be the letter A.
Text
Okay?
A. Okay.
Good. Okay, so that was the first exercise. Now you do have a little bit more information on the 4 texts, and you know at least the type of the aspect of PD that is treated with each one of them. Okay, so if you pay very close attention to this exercise, it will be easier for you to do and to resolve the next 2 exercises. Okay, and with the next 2 exercises, I will let you work a little bit more individually than with the first one. So questions 8 to 13, you have to complete the sentences with 1 word or a short phrase. A short phrase means that you have to use no more than 3 words. Okay, if it's longer than 3 words, then it's not short anymore. There might be answers, but very, very rarely, where you will have 4 words, but one of them might be a preposition or a conjunction. So you basically don't have the possibility of shorten the answer to 3 words. But mostly, a short phrase means 3 words. Okay, so let's look at question 8. We have a person that shows excessive blank, deals with sweating problems caused by PD. What do you think is the specific information here? What?
Is an abstract C.
Shows excessive
Sweating problems.
Excessive can also be specific information that you will use as scanning, but it's quite vague. I think you would use, or you would better use, another word from the statement that would be easier to scan, because excessive, you don't know exactly what it talks about, so you will have to scan all 4 texts.
Sweating problems.
Right. That would be which text?
C.
C.
C or B? Which text should I show you?
One of them.
One of them, right? Okay, let's start with B.
Not here.
Not here.
Not here. Okay.
No.
I
Text
think it's one of
there.
the last line in text C.
Here.
Perspiration.
Excessive perspiration.
Okay, so the question asked for excessive something, which was about sweating, excessive perspiration. Okay, question 9. The common treatment for PD that does not respond to medicine is, and I think that you can actually predict the answer or actually know the answer now.
Rain something in text A.
Yeah.
So you know exactly
Deep
where to
brain
go, right?
perspiration.
Because we've had this question related to this topic before. And
Deep
I'll show
brain
you.
perspiration.
Deep brain stimulation or DBS.
Deep brain, yes, DBS. Yeah, DBS.
Right. You can actually write either of them, deep brain stimulation or DBS, the acronym.
So you will not be penalized for writing the short form DBS, right?
No.
Okay.
Question 10. The blank symptoms are not evident and can affect the entire body. So we talk about a type of symptoms that are not very obvious and will affect the entire body. Which text am I going to show you?
C.
I think B.
C, non-motor.
Common.
Yes, non-motor symptoms.
Non-motor. Do you also have the possibility of another answer?
Common.
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 Non-movement.
Non-movement.
Non-movement. Okay, because if your statement would be the common symptoms are not evident and can affect the entire body, we don't know, I don't know exactly which symptom, the common one, but which are the common ones. So you have to be a little bit more specific than that, mainly non-motor or non-movement symptoms. Okay, you have this phrase here, you cannot see them from outside, which in the question was what word? In the question, it was evident. Okay, so it's a paraphrase. You would not always find the same words or the same expressions in the questions as in the text. So you have to be able to understand the text, and you have to know synonyms and antonyms. Question 11. Something is described as having no interest in daily activities. So
in 300 meters, turn left on 2B3347, cross.
Now, I'm going to look for having no interest in daily activities. This is definitely what? What am I going to show you?
The table in text C.
The table in text C.
Mood disturbance.
Apathy, yes.
Concentration difficulties.
If I talk about not having interest in daily life, it means that I don't really feel like doing anything with my life or doing any sort of activities. That's not really a concentration difficulty. It's more like will, lack of will. Okay, or lack of motivation as it is in the text. So I look here, right? Lack of motivation and interest, which is apathy. Question 12. Okay, there are other motor symptoms that deal with walking, balance, or. Now you don't know here if there are two words or one word. The good thing is that even if there are 2 words, you are still under 3 words. So you can use 2 words or you can use 1. But you'll also see which one makes more sense, 1 word or 2 words, in order to have a very complete and nice sentence. So we talk about motor symptoms, right? But we don't talk about the first motor symptom, let's say, because you also have the word other, which is quite important, because I'm not talking about the most common one or the most important or the most popular. I'm talking about additional motor symptoms. Okay. And you also have to look for walking, balance, and then there will be a third one. So I'm going to show you which text, Gabriel? B. B.
B.
B.
Coordination.
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 Postural instability. Postural instability.
Coordination. Okay. So we have problems with, we have walking, balance, and coordination. Now, could I also say, I'll show you the question again so you see what I mean. So there are motor symptoms that deal with walking, balance, or coordination. Could I stop here or should I use the word difficulties as well?
Difficulties.
Turn left onto B3347.
We can use also the difficulty.
We can use the word difficulties. It would actually be quite advisable that we do, because the symptoms or the disease deal with the difficulties mainly. Right? So when you talk about the disease, you talk about the difficulties that the disease poses. So you would have walking, balance, or coordination difficulties. But it's not definitely wrong or if you only say coordination, because you don't really know exactly how many words you have to provide. So you do have symptoms that relate to walking, balance, or coordination. Okay? All good?
I have a question. We can write postural, I don't know the word, and
Imbalance.
Postural instability.
yes, instability, not coordinated.
Is the word in the text?
It is.
Yeah.
It is in the text, but it's between brackets.
Yeah.
So we take the main meaning, not the one between brackets.
Okay.
Question 13. Stiffness, slowness, and resting tremor are somehow motor symptoms. So we have 3 symptoms here, right? We know that there are motor symptoms, but there would be another word, another adjective that would qualify these symptoms. So which text am I going to show you?
B.
B. Cardinal symptoms, text B. B. I saw it, sorry.
Was Daniela right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We have the 3 main motor symptoms here with bullet points. And before that, we have the word cardinal here, which is in quotes. Okay. So that was question 13, right? We go now to the last exercise. Questions 14 to 20, where you have to reply to a question, you have to give an answer, and you have to write on your answer sheet your answer to the question, 1 word or a short phrase, the same thing. You have to, a short phrase means no more than 3 words. Please remember that before each exercise you do, you have to look at the instructions. The instructions are always the same, but you still should check them out, because you have to know for sure what you're doing with the exercise, and you have to it also helps you stay focused and concentrated on the test. So, question 14. What was the incidence rate of Parkinson's disease deaths in 2005? In this type of question, where you have a number, a year, words with capital letters, long expressions, symbols as well, they're very, very useful because they're very easily seen in text, especially if you have a table or a bar chart or a diagram. So we will use the year rather than First, we will use the year rather than anything else in the question. So once you locate the text that you're going to look at and you locate the year, the actual number, you will also look for the other detail that you have in the question. So if it's about 2005 and it's about deaths, which text will you look at?
D.
D, right. Okay. So we are interested in finding the incidence rate of deaths in 2005. So I'll show you the bar chart.
Right.
Right, but this is a rate. So you have, your answer would be 3? Just 3?
Per 100,000.
Yes, 3 per 100,000. Okay. Question 15. Oh. What symptom is most common but not always present in people dealing with PD? Now you would be able to reply to this question because we've had quite a lot of information on the symptoms text. So which text do you think I have to show you? The most common. Which one?
C.
C?
B.
B.
No,
B, because we talk about the most common symptom. The symptoms in text C, I don't think it was written in text C that these are most common. So most common, it means that a very high majority of people will have this common, but it's not always present. I mean, it is most common, but it's not mandatory. So I'll show you text B. Oh.
Slowness.
Tremor.
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 Tremor, right.
Tremor.
Right, we have here, tremor is the most common symptom. Not everyone with Parkinson's has tremor. It's actually even bolded, so you can really see that not everybody has tremor. Good. Question 16. What type of body function that helps us live does PD affect and interferes with your daily life? Okay, this is a large question. So you will have to sort of split it into sections a little bit to be able to understand it, to be able to remember what the question asked of you. So we talk about a type of body function. This is a body function that definitely is very important to you because it helps you live. Right? You can't live without this body function. This body function is affected by Parkinson's disease. And if it is affected, then it interferes with your daily life, meaning that you cannot really go on with your life properly. Right? So which text do you think I'm going to show you?
C.
B.
Start with A.
Let's start with A, just for the sake of the exercise and the sake of the practice. Any body function here?
No.
Motor and cognitive function affects.
Neurodegeneration.
No. What about text B?
Anything here?
No.
No?
No. No.
Okay. About
Yes.
this part of
Mhm.
text, see?
Non-motor.
No, we are actually looking for a body function, not for a type of symptom. You have to also remember what you're looking for. Well, you can always go back and forth to the question, but not right now, but you normally be able to do it. Okay, what about this part of text?
Low blood pressure.
That is not a part of body. It's not the function.
Okay, what about this part? Here.
Depression.
No.
Is Parkinson
The last phrase.
is the last what
Automatic, yes.
Yes. Which one will you use, automatic or involuntary?
Or involuntary.
Involuntary function.
Involuntary.
Both.
Either of them. You can't use both, but you will use either of them. So you'll either use automatic or involuntary, it'll be okay. Okay, so here's an example of when you get a question where the information or the answer to your question is in a very, very small piece of text somewhere at the end of a table or the end of a bar chart, or just as introduction to another text, and you have to pay close attention to the entire information, the entire data in the four texts. Okay, because it's very easy to miss this type of information here, because you would mainly look at the texts, right, at the tables, right, or a big chunk of text. Okay, next question. Question 17. When dealing with PD, what category of symptoms are delusions? What is the most important word in this question?
delusion?
Delusion, right? Okay, so because we talk about delusions, what type of symptoms are these?
Non-motor.
Non-motor.
Which text am I going to show you?
C.
C.
Psychosis.
Have you found it?
Beliefs.
Delusion. Yeah.
We found delusions here, right? So what
Psychosis.
category of symptoms is this?
Psychosis.
Psychosis. Okay, good. That was fairly easy, right? Question 18. What type of symptoms does medication treat? Which text am I going to show you?
And C?
C.
We've looked at medication or treatment with a different question, with a previous question. Was
A.
It was A, it was not C. B or C don't talk about medication or treatment. It was only one text. So I'll show you text A.
DBS. DBS again.
No, that's the treatment. I'm looking for the type of symptoms that is treated with medication, are treated.
There's a quite effective medications to treat the motor symptoms of PD.
Right. So the word would be motor. This is the type of symptom that we treat with medication. Question 19, I think.
Yes.
Okay. What was the percentage of genetically engineered soy and corn planted that relates to a rate of deaths of more than 3 per 100,000. We have 3 per 100,000. You had a question 14, which where the answer was 3 per 100,000. And now you also have the word percentage. And you know that you have to look at a certain part of the bar chart where you have percentages or proportions. And you also have soy and corn, GE, soy and corn. So I'm going to show you here's the bar chart. On the left side, we have the death rate. On the right side, we have percentage, the symbol, GE, corn and soy planted. So I need to look at 3 per 100,000. What is the percentage?
More than 85.
85.
Almost 90%.
Almost 90%.
Almost 90%.
It's hard to estimate. It's very hard to estimate between 80 and 90 when it's not exactly in the middle.
Approximately
Right?
90%.
If it were exactly in the middle, it would be right on the line with 3. Therefore, that would be 85%. But it's more than 85%, and it's very close to 90. So you will say almost 90%. You can't say 90% either, because I don't think it's really, really on the edge, on the line of 90%.
Okay, excuse me. What if you say it's about 90%?
About 90%?
Yes.
Yes, that would be okay.
All right.
As long as the meaning of your answer is similar or to what I've said earlier.
All right.
Okay. And the last question. During what movement does tremor disappear as a sign? Which text talked about tremor?
B.
B. So you have to get the type of movement where tremor disappears.
Voluntary movement.
Mm-hmm. Did everybody get it? So it's this one.
Voluntary.
Okay, so the shaking only happens when the finger, the hand or the limb is relaxed. But then if you have a voluntary movement, like you move your hands at will, then you lose the tremor. Okay, so this was part A. 20 questions. You would normally have to do it in 15 minutes. Okay, that means that you also have to have some time management skills, but you use the time management skills in collaboration, let's say, with scanning, because if you can scan very, very easily, then you'll have to do it. You can do it quite fast. Also, you have to rely as well on understanding the question and remembering a little bit, or as much as you can, the type of information that you'll find in each text, so that you do not lose time by scanning 3 texts if you have to answer a question. So you will have to scan only one, or at least, or the most, the one paragraph where you will find the information. Okay?
I think that would be it. If you want to stop sharing, so
Yes.
that we can ask our candidates how many correct answers they had, if they want to tell us, of course. Danny, what is the percentage? Or the number directly? You are muted.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I have 18 out of 20, but with help.
Yeah, okay, that is not bad. Where is Himanshu? Is he still here? Himanshu? I don't see him. You are too many. Christina, how many did you have?
I have 18.
And the other Christina? I don't hear you, sweetie. I'm sorry. Maybe you can write. Maria Mare, what about you?
At 12.
12. Okay. Carmencita?
17.
17. Ineta?
17.
Okay. Mr. Collins,
27.
27 out of 20?
Yeah.
Well,
19. I got 19. I got 19.
okay, now we talk. Gabriel?
You got me on that one.
Okay. 17 you said, right? Okay. Rakshya. Unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, because of my kids, it's gonna be noisy, so I just.
No problem. How many were correct for you?
I don't know. It's my first class. I was a bit confused, to be really honest. And
step by step, huh?
Yeah, I've just got a question. I don't know where should I get the text, the question real format, where I can just try and make myself easier to answer the questions. I don't know.
I think the paper format is always easier than the computer-based one.
Yeah.
This is what you take into account when you decide what kind of exam you will use in the future. If you choose a paper-based, a computer-based, or an OET at home exam that will appear.
Yeah.
What about you, Andrea?
19.
19. Oh, we have a winner here, right? Congratulations. Great. If you have further questions, we are still here for you. But we